Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to your next class of Class 12th English Core. So, I really hope that you have gone through the last video lecture thoroughly and you have read the poem also. As I have explained you, I have given it just about it, that how Kamla Das has described about the mother and daughter relationship in this poem, My Mother at 66. So I'm just going to explain you the meanings as well as the phrases with the poetic devices. So once again, I am reading it for you. So mark it in your book itself and then you need to write it in your register also. So I'm starting with it. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. Now, what the poet is saying that she, as I mentioned earlier, also she was at her parents' place. Now she's going back to her own house. She's going back to her own place. So now she is going to the airport. Now she is going to the Cochin airport last Friday morning. So the date and the time has also given to us that she was traveling. She was driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning. I saw my mother beside me. So yes, she saw that her mother was sitting beside her. Now, what beside means that she was sitting just at the side only. The mother was sitting just at the side of the poetess, or even we can say nearby. And don't get confused because there is another word called besides. So there is a difference in beside and besides. This beside means that the mother was just sitting at the side or the nearby of the poetess, and the besides word, which I am talking about, that is, it means in addition to, but we need to follow this one beside. Yes, so I saw my mother beside me doze. So her mother was sitting there and she was in a dozing condition, like she was taking a little nap, or she was looking like the unconscious one because of her ill health actually. Open mouth. And when the she noticed her mother, her mother's mouth was little open. You might have noticed and observed also when someone is not well. So at that time, immediately when that person is taking a nap, also her mouth, her or his mouth, little bit open at that time. The same thing happened with the poetess mother. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. Now she noticed that her face means the mother's face ashen like a corpse. Now corpse means dead body. And ashen here means the ashes, like looking like the dull thing. Now she started comparing her mother's face with the corpse. It seemed that while looking at her face, it seems very dull. It looked like a dead body, or even we can say the lifeless. Her mother was looking like a dead body, or even we can say lifeless. And here the poetic device has been used, simile. Why? Because the comparison has been done, the poetess mother's face with the dead body. And why simile? Because like word has been used. Then she says about it, and realized with pain. Now the poetess was having that pain. She was realizing that pain that she was as old as she looked. Now she was realizing, she was feeling that pain, that my mother was looking exactly old as she was looking exactly old as it's her age right now. She was as old as she looked. It seems about it. As the title itself says, My Mother at 66. But soon put that thought away. Now, as she was feeling bad and she was realizing this pain, and her mood was very sad and monotonous at that time. And it happens with us also whenever we are feeling sad, whenever we are feeling monotonous, we try to distract our mind at that time. So, just for distracting her mind so that the fresh thoughts, the new good thoughts should come into her mind, what the poetess did, soon put that thought away. How she put that thought away of her mother's illness, of her old age, of her condition? She looked out and looked out. Looked out here means she started looking outside from the car window at young trees sprinting. Now, when she looked out, she noticed that the young trees were sprinting. Now, sprinting means running. Now, what basically the poetess is trying to say here actually. Now, whenever you're traveling, whenever you're in a car, or whenever you are in a train, also, it seems some of the time it seems that the trees or the moon is following us, right? So in the same manner, it seemed that young tree sprinting, when she was looking out, it seemed that trees were running at a very fast pace. In the same manner, she started comparing at the how time passes on. She was really started comparing about these two things here. And that is why here the another poetic device has been used as personification. Why personification? Because the non-human thing, that is young trees, the non-human thing got the human attribute or the characteristic. That is, a non-human thing got the human characteristic. That is why it is personification. Then what she says about the merry children spilling out of their homes. Then the another thing she noticed, merry children. Now merry means happy. Like we say Merry Christmas, right? So merry children spilling out. Spilling means coming out. These happy children were coming out of their homes. Why? Because they want to play outside. So this here the poetic device has been used as imagery. Imagery basically means when there is a vivid description, or we can say the imagination is there. Some senses have been used. So the another poetic device has been used as merry children spilling out of their homes, like imagery. Now, what exactly poet is trying to say in these lines, looked out at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. She was noticing something and she started comparing the things, as I have written it here also. With these two statements, she was comparing that how the youngness, how these trees or the children, they look like very young. They are very young actually. She is noticing that how the outside world is very young in age. They are very fresh. There is a youthness, energy, activeness, carefree look, or even the enthusiasm. And in the car, the opposite thing is there. That is, the old age is there, illness is there. So she was comparing, she was contrasting these two things, that how the youngness or the old age, how these two things are very different with each other, how they are poles apart actually.